Hello everyone, Bree here, going to present my law office memo for you. Our group, I had Lucas and Blake in our group, and the question we decided to look at with this terrible situation is that we work for the Wisconsin prosecutor's office, and our boss has asked whether we should prosecute the case. If so, what relevant cases and laws should you present as evidence? And just going a little bit into the summary, as you guys all know, since we all did the same one, Dr. John Cox accidentally rolled over on his adopted daughter, possibly fracturing her collarbone. He is also an ER doctor at that hospital, as well as his wife, Dr. Sadie, is a pediatric oncologist. So they're very prestigious in the community. They work for a hospital, they work with children. And so once that happened, they both realized, we've got to go to the hospital to get this checked out. And from then on, they were the nurses, everything was done not to the best of probably the hospital's abilities. And so I guess as an employee of the prosecutor's office, after going through all of the information we received, we wouldn't prosecute because there are so many different people that have looked at it. So if we look at that, at least 14 different doctors looked at it. We had 4 hematologists look at it, and so everything was misread incorrectly. And so there isn't enough evidence to prosecute for that abuse because everything wasn't done properly, and so I wouldn't want to spend our resources, which little resources we do have, on a case like this, especially with 2 very prestigious people in the community. And going through a lot of the news articles, I realized that we didn't have a ton of information because a lot of the news articles were very biased. They weren't giving a lot of actual information. They were giving more of what they thought kind of happened. And so we really relied on that first NBC article that continually is being updated as new information comes out. And so right now that he is just awaiting trial. They still do not have their daughter back. She is still in with CPS, I'm assuming, in another foster care family. And so I guess we looked at many different cases, but mostly we looked at the Wisconsin law pertaining to what child abuse is. And it's put in the Wisconsin state law that child abuse is a physical injury on a child by means other than accidental, needing the intentional case of bodily harm, and so he wasn't meaning, Dr. John was not meaning to roll over on his daughter and break her collarbone. There was no other issues pertaining to the incident. There was the birthmarks that were supposed to, or that a nurse recognized as bruises, which in the end was discredited by multiple doctors, as well as the blood work that was done, which was also discredited. Also, other doctors and medical experts looked at the case and have discredited the whole case on top of it, so there really isn't a solid case against them. And so I do think they should get their child back. And at this time, we wouldn't prosecute. It's going to cost too much money. It isn't worth it. I think that what they really need to do is look to the hospital and how they're actually addressing abuse cases, because some of the articles did talk about how doctors didn't feel safe bringing their own child to that hospital and things like that. So it kind of waves a red flag with the hospital, and maybe they need to be looked more into and not the parents. All right, thank you.